Hey, what's up, everybody? So, last video we tackled black market crafting, how it works, basically how you can start crafting without the hassle of you going to the black zones and crafting in the hideouts. Now, we're going to talk about something very important, which is the dynamic respawn update that Albion made and the recent patch that they just released. Everyone is talking about dynamic respawn rates, how it's going to affect everything, and honestly, I agree with a lot of the positives. But after reading through the changes that SBI for Albion Online made and thinking about how players actually behave, I think this update also introduces some potential problems. So basically, dynamic respawn rates have now expanded across every single open world activity in Albion Online. Open world dungeons, crystal creatures, Wisps, Roads of Avalon, Lairs, everything now reacts to how player activity works. But is this actually a good thing? Today let's take a quick look. Since Albion just made basically one of the biggest changes to how the open world functions, instead of fixed timers and many activities now, it scales dynamically depending on how active that specific zone or server is. It sounds amazing. It promotes activity, and people actually need to come together now and do activities together instead of going solo. But like every single major system, there are positives and negatives to this. And number one, let's say the biggest improvement is very simple: less downtime, really. This is just one of the many positive things that they did, that we could basically see right away. You could spend probably before 20 minutes riding through an empty map. Now, if players are actively clearing content, then the game responds by generating basically more content in that specific zone. That's basically what this means on paper. That means more gameplay content, less traveling, right? Number two, for the Roads of Avalon players, which is majority of the content that we do, this is huge, really. Busy roads should continue to basically produce content instead of feeling like completely empty. This means basically more fame, more silver, and hopefully, for people to stay on the roads. But as everyone who is doing Avalonian Roads or Brazilian jump content is already aware, this is certainly not the case most of the time. I really personally believe that this is gonna be a cause for many problems in the future for the way that the whole content works. Why? Now peak hours, basically the game responds by dynamic respawn, right? So peak hour players, more content, stuff like that. But what about the people who actually don't play in peak hours? If this is the case, and this is based on my experience, then the respawn responds as such, then they're not gonna basically be the same. You can be the only guy at the zone, and then you're gonna try to find content, right? And then respawn rates responds as such, and you're the only guy there. So basically, you're not getting as much anymore, right? As you were before. This could basically potentially destroy solo content. That's just for Avalonian Roads. 2 to 5 player groups probably benefit the most. You'll spend more time like fame farming, opening chests, contesting objectives, instead of just simply searching for something to do. And it's definitely good for group activities, I mean, for years, many players, preferred the instance content because it was predictable. This update basically makes the open world feel much more rewarding if successfully done. Of course, we may see more players choosing open world content instead of staying, inside those instance activities like, for example, world bosses and stuff like that. Negative one really is, it attracts more players. If everyone knows a busy zone generates content faster, then everyone will head to those same areas, right? Faster respawns don't necessarily mean faster rewards or easier rewards. It creates competition, which is a double-edged sword, depending on how you look at it, really. Some people love content, they're gonna love this kind of idea. But the Zolo players, they're definitely gonna feel a little bit, neglected on this update that they just did. Now, for the longest time, the Avalonian Roads, or what we call the Brazilian Jump, has always been one of the best ways that you can fame farm and build your economy up. So what you do, as you see in the video, is you take a 7-man party, fix up your guys, and then you jump on Avalonian Gold Roads, and basically that's easily how you can find content. People fame farm a lot in the Brazilian roads. Fastest way for content, silver, and fame, except for world bosses, of course, but that's a different discussion altogether. If you're into PvE and PvP, this is basically the best out of everything. You get the best of both worlds. You can PvP, PvE, spec up, silver up, basically get everything in the gold roads. And this dynamic respawn update could potentially change everything here, because think about it for a second. If a busy map means more content, and then what about the other maps, right? What about the neglected maps with no people in it? The greatest thing about Albion is the fact that you can solo and do whatever you want, which is perfect as well for gold roads, because solo players have been farming it for such a long time. I get it that this is an aggressive update and it's probably already in their calculations, but this has already been a cause for concern, or a lot of discussions, especially in our Discord community, or the folks that I play with. It's something that could potentially lead to a lot of players turning completely away from the game. I mean, I know some who have actually voiced out their own opinions about how negative this is gonna make everything, or how hard it is gonna make everything, instead of focusing on other things that is affecting the inflation of the silver. Why did they nerf this content or something like that? I think it's too early to say that it is nerfed. It's more on the changes are still just fresh. It's still in its infancy, but I do admit this may change a lot of things when it comes to how people play the roads. Like I said, could be a positive, could be a negative. It is certainly going to be a double-edged sword. I don't know why they did this update instead of focusing on other areas, such as world boss farming, world boss scouting 24/7, stuff like that. But they know what they're doing, so I guess let's just wait and see. Overall, I think this is one of Albion's most interesting updates in a long time. It has the potential to make the world feel more alive, but success will really depend on how players adapt to it and their opinions to it, because they're the players, right? If dynamic respawn rates simply reduce downtime, then it's a huge win. If they end up concentrating everyone into one single zone just to get content, then that's gonna be Not a good thing for a lot of people, especially the people who enjoy solo content. Then we'll probably basically see a new balanced discussion in the weeks ahead. Personally, I'm very excited to test this out, but I'm also keeping a close eye on how it affects every single content that they have listed down here, because this is going to be, a very interesting week. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching. Hopefully this doesn't destroy content for everybody, but we'll just have to see. And if you're interested in Avalonian or Brazilian road content, playing with people who actually knows what they're doing, we have a link in the Discord down in the description. So yeah, see you soon.